Hey, this is Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast, here to tell you that Michelob Ultra, the official beer partner of the NBA, is bringing NBA fans closer than ever this season with chances to win great prizes, including courtside tickets. Enter now at michelobultra.com/courtside. Michelob Ultra courtside 25 to 26. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents 21 plus. Begins on October 1st, 2025 and ends on June 30th, 2026. Multiple entry periods. See official rules at michelobultra.com/courtside for free entry deadlines, prizes, and details.
British Spy Stories Season 5 Kill or Be Killed. Episode 27. The speed that the local gendarmes work is starting to frustrate Emile Dames. After Sergeant Leroy got no answer to his knocks on the White House door, he decided to wait and see if the big man, Jacques, appears at some stage. Despite Emile's protestations, the sergeant is adamant that his wait-and-see tactic has always worked for him over the years that he's been policing this corner of the Isère department of southeastern France. Emile sighs silently and looks up at the first edges of orange in the pale blue sky above their heads. As the day starts its journey into evening, he watches a triangle of grey-lag geese fly north and disappear into the horizon until his eyes are stinging. "All right," says Sergeant Leroy. "We'll go in." He pulls out his Sig Sauer P2022 pistol. His men see him and follow suit. "You stay behind us," says Leroy to Emile, and the inspector wants to say that he'll lead the attack, but he lets the man go ahead. The gendarmes walk up the long straight road towards the White House. There's no sign of movement from within. Leroy enters the garden and indicates to his men to surround the building. He again walks up the steps to the front door. He knocks and calls out like he did before. After a minute, Leroy looks back at Dames, as there's been no response to his knocking. The sergeant orders one of his men to break down the door, and the police rush in, their guns raised. Emile follows them inside. Within a few seconds, the sound of gunfire echoes down the stairs from the upper floor. Leroy is at the front of the group and fires back. The stairs are narrow, but finding heroism buried deep inside him, Leroy keeps going up the stairs. Jacques appears, and now has a gun instead of a knife. He fires again, but misses. Leroy is at the top of the flight now. "Put it down, Jacques." There's a shot that thuds into the wall behind Leroy's head, as the other gendarmes and Emile are on the stairs. Leroy moves swiftly into the room. The gendarmes follow him, and Jacques is cornered. "It's over, Jacques." Emile holds his breath, but no more shots are fired. Jacques drops the gun onto the floorboards as he abandons his freedom, and the gendarmes sit him down in handcuffs. Inspector Dames walks over and goes down on his haunches. "Where's the girl?" Jacques looks sullen. "Where's the girl?" he repeats, more loudly. "Answer the man, Jacques. It'll be better for you if you cooperate." There's a pause as everyone waits. Then Jacques only nods his head upwards. "The loft," says Leroy. The gendarmes find a ladder in the corner of another bedroom behind the wardrobe and lean it up against an access hole in the ceiling. One of the police starts to climb, but Emile stops him. "Let me," he says. The man stands back. Emile climbs up and pushes a wooden square of ceiling over to one side, then pulls himself up into the loft space. There's a light cord hanging down, and he pulls it. Louis and Loxby are lying centrally on the wooden boards. Neither is moving. He kneels down next to Loxby and feels her neck. There is a pulse. He breathes out. He feels Louis's neck too, and the man is also alive. "Emma," he whispers. He waits in the shadows, willing her to respond. "Emma." He rocks her shoulder gently, and she makes a noise. He waits while consciousness floods back into her head. She opens her eyes. "You're going to be okay," he says. An hour later, Jacques has been taken to the local gendarmerie to be interviewed. Dames leans over Louis, lying in the back of one of the two ambulances pulled up on the driveway of the White House. Louis is awake now, after the paramedics gave him something. "Why did you come here?" says the inspector. "To tell Rose Froissart that I quit," lies Louis. "Why?" "She's out of control, Inspector. I want nothing more to do with her." "How did you end up with Jacques?" says Dames. "Rose employed him to get rid of me. She wanted me dead, because of what I found out. But she's planning something even bigger. I can tell you all about it. I saw it all in the basement when they took me out the back way." "What back way?" "There are tunnels under the house. From the cellars." "They're blocked off, though, aren't they?" "No. The tunnels lead out to a buried entrance, down near the river. Jacques took me out that way to avoid the front gates." The ambulance with Louis in drives off, and Dames walks to the other ambulance to see Loxby before she too departs for the hospital. "Any injuries?" he says. "No, they just want to keep me in overnight under observation." "Louis is going to talk and provide evidence against Rose," says Emile. "Is that enough to destroy Nox Ventura?" Her eyes shine in the light. "Yes." He smiles. "We need to get going," calls the ambulance driver, and Dames stands up. "We did it then," she says. "Yes, we did." There's a pause. Then he adds, "Your dad would be proud of you." She smiles through her tears. A minute later, Emile stands by the black gates of the White House and watches the ambulance drive away through the dying light of the French evening. The rain creates a fine mist in the air as the black cab drops off Elodie outside Brigham's restaurant on the King's Road in Chelsea, in London, and she runs inside. This is her favourite place for lunch, and Oliver knows it. She's been here a dozen times, either for cocktails in the evening, on the squashy sofas downstairs, or for French food on the upper level, with its deep mahogany tables and padded red benches. He stands when she pushes the door open, and has secured the best place for them, at the front, overlooking the street. A waiter takes her coat to reveal her Roland Mouret red wool day dress. They order a Tom Collins and a sidecar from the waiter, which is what they had the first time they came here. "This is a celebration," he says, when the drinks arrive. "I've done a deal." "Don't you do those every day?" "This is different. This is the big time." She picks up her glass, and they toast. "Tell me about it." "You know that woman who annoyed me? The French woman? She got me thinking about trading military information because of its high value." Her heart is already starting to beat harder. "I talked to this guy the other day and agreed to acquire a military document for 1 million. Then this morning I lined up a buyer." "What's the document?" He stops and looks at her, wondering what he should say, and whether he can trust her completely. Then he concludes that it won't mean anything to her anyway, so he says, "It's the spec of a new British military automatic weapon." She creases her eyebrows together. "How'd you get a buyer so quickly?" "Just some bloke I know in the city. He works with these foreign arms manufacturers, and this document is big. They want to buy it to design their own version. I should clear 2 million in profit." Is it illegal? She says, sipping her cocktail. It's just business. He mutters. Are you still going to tell the Frenchwoman about it? Aren't you still working for her? You're full of questions. He smiles to make it a joke, but it doesn't feel like one. I told you the other day, she doesn't add any value. It's my deal, and it's my contacts. My supplier had heard of me personally and came to see me. She's done nothing. Be careful. What do you mean? The Frenchwoman sounds dangerous. Elodie's eyes look sad. He frowns, trying to understand her. I mean, you said she was. I was worried about that, he says. But this level of cash is too good to turn down. It makes the risk acceptable if the prize is so big. They eat upstairs, but she can't stop one thought going around and around in her head. Despite Rose paying her to approach Oliver a year ago, Elodie has grown to like him, even love him. She doesn't want to see him hurt, if that can be avoided. After the meal, Oliver catches a cab outside on the street, and Elodie decides to go up to Sloane Square to look at the shops. The rain has persisted, and the water splashes up onto her ankles as she walks along. In the end, she realizes that she has no choice, and decides that she has to make the call. Hi, Elodie, says Rose sleepily on the phone. Did I wake you? She ducks into a doorway to get out of the rain. I'm in bed, says Rose, because some stupid spoiled girl got drunk and cut me. But it's nothing. She's nothing. Why are you calling me? It's Oliver. He's doing a deal. How did he do that so quickly? Secret documents take time to wheedle out of people. It can't be more than 2 weeks since he started. Well, he's done it. A new weapon for the army in England. I don't like the sound of that, says Rose. It could be a trap. It's all too quick. Who's his supplier? He didn't say. I've got a contact inside MI5, who I paid to tell me what's going on. They'll know. I'll call them and come back to you. The call ends, and Elodie steps back out into the rain on the King's Road. In the middle of the afternoon, the chateau is silent. There are no sounds of staff bustling about, as they've finished their cleaning for the day. Hans checks on Rose in the master bedroom suite. She is sleeping, and he leaves her to rest. He walks to Kate's room, 1 floor up. He uses their coded knock, then goes inside. She's talking to Gabby on the secure comms about the details of the attack that is being planned. Kate hands him an earpiece to hear their discussion. Any news on Laravelle, Hans? Says Gabby. Rose wouldn't tell me. Go and have a search then. We haven't seen any evidence of her being removed from the chateau on our cameras. We would have seen something like that. My guess is she's in the house or in the basement. She'll be somewhere shut away, out of sight. We'll start in the basement and work upwards, he says. Hans leaves the women to talk through the finer details of the coming attack, and he drops down the main stairs to the back corridor and the basement access door. Until the new guards arrive, there are only 2 security people in the house. One of them, Stephen, is standing in the corridor near the door with the iris scanner when Hans approaches. Have you got access to the cellars, Stephen? I have, sir. Madame was talking about the wine collection that's down there. I wanted to choose a bottle for tonight. I can't let you in, sir, he says. Not after the young woman was caught earlier. We've clamped down on security. But it's me, Stephen. I'm not some spy, you know. Hans feigns the mild amusement of a rich man denied something. I'd better check with Madame, sir. She's sleeping after an accident at lunchtime. I don't want her disturbed, and she wouldn't take kindly to being woken up, to be asked if her boyfriend can go into the cellars. Hans raises his eyebrows. They stand perfectly still for a moment, looking at each other. "All right, sir." Stephen leans towards the eye scanner, and the door goes green. Hans walks down the curved staircase to the main body of the basement. The scene is very different from the last time he was down here. Then it was deserted. Now it's a mass of people. Some are in groups around whiteboards for software stand-up discussions. Some are focused on their keyboards and computers. Others are printing off papers and distributing them around to the different teams. On the side wall, giant screens display a graphic of the software as the parts are built and locked into the whole framework. A large video screen next to it shows 30 video feeds. Some are cameras around the chateau and grounds, and others show what Hans knows are the seagrass server farms across Europe. "Can I help you?" says a man with short red hair who is wearing a European Space Agency t-shirt. "Incredible, isn't it?" says Hans. "Who are you? You can't just wander around, you know." "Clive Fremont. Mademoiselle Froissart is my girlfriend. I'm getting some wine for tonight." The man grunts softly, disappointed to have not caught an infiltrator. "The wine cellars are all down the first corridor there." He points to one of the tunnels that disappear into the distance, away from the main underground room. As Hans walks the first 50 feet into the tunnel, the sounds of the software teams fade quickly, and it feels isolated down here, amongst the brick arches and the old doorways. He puts on his phone torch app and walks on, shining the light on the ground to trace a path through the darkness. He and Laravelle explored down here a week ago, and those memories allow him to move more quickly into each wine store to see if anything is out of place. He racks his brain, trying to think if there were any unused rooms this far along the tunnel, but he's certain that they didn't see anything. After searching the red wine and the white wine storerooms, he starts on the champagne rooms that are the furthest along the tunnel. He finds nothing. There's no sign of Laravelle down here, nor any sign of someone having been brought down here. Nothing is out of place. Hans goes back into the tunnel, but his torch app starts to fade. The screen says there is only 5% battery left, and he switches off the light. There's a faint glow from the end of the tunnel, the way he came, so at least he can see how to get back. Then he hears something. The slightest sound. The slightest muffled noise. He stands stock still. He can only feel his heart and hear his breath. What was it? It comes again. Was that a person? This far along the tunnels, he's no longer under the house, but somewhere beneath the grounds of the chateau. It could be an animal, a fox in their burrow, maybe. The muffled sound repeats. No, it is a person. Hans steps further underground, along the brick floor of the cellars. Ahead of him is only pitch blackness. The tunnel goes on, but he can't see any detail. Hans slowly makes his way along in the dark. A water droplet lands on his head from the roof. He tries his torch up again, but it's useless now. The muffled sound is getting louder, and it now appears to be coming from the right-hand side of the corridor. He steps across. There's a doorway. His fingers touch an old iron ring on the door. "Clive!" Rose's voice crashes the silence. "What are you doing?" A bright light suddenly floods the corridor, but he can't see who's holding it. Then Rose steps out from behind the glare. "Stephen said he let you in to find some wine. All the bottles are back there, not here." "I didn't know that." He acts innocent. "Come on," she says. "We need to get back to the house." He starts to retrace the way he came. And as he does so, he's sure he hears the muffled sound again.